I asked you for your questions and you responded. So just want to say thank you. Today we're going to tackle this question first. Mr. Ed is asking about the nuances of Medigap trial right and then how to verify members' history. Let's tackle this thing. This is Solve Your Medicare, probably 5 or 6 minute Medicare minute. Let's do it. Let's talk about trial right. What is a trial right? Basically, it means that your member gets a second chance at a Medicare supplement policy without having to pass any health questions. But it's only available in certain situations and only if the timeline is right for your member. So there's two types of trial rights out of Medicare's 7 guaranteed issue federal election periods for a Medigap. Now, these exist in federal law. You can read about them in one of my favorite books, which is kind of nerdy, right? Choosing Medigap Policy. So hop on Google, type in Choosing Medigap Policy PDF. You can read all about it. It used to be pages 22 and 23. I think they moved it to 18, 19, 20, something like that. We're going to talk about both of them. The first trial right works like this. When your member turns 65, if they took A and B at 65, and then also started their Medicare Advantage plan at the same time, they have a 12-month window where they can drop that Medicare Advantage plan, come back to traditional Medicare with no Medigap underwriting and take a Medicare supplement. Now, this is outside of any regular windows you're used to. So they don't need AEP, they don't need MAOEP. They have their own unique special enrollment period that's 12 months long to essentially try that plan before they buy it. Okay, that's trial right 1. Let's talk about trial right number 2. If you are on a Medicare supplement and you want to drop that Medicare supplement for a Medicare Advantage plan, and it is your first time, hear me, very first time in a Medicare Advantage plan, you can drop that Medicare supplement for an MA, and assuming you have no, what's the right words to use? No crossover in time where you didn't have coverage from that Medigap plan and joining an MA, then you have a 12-month period where you can come back to the same Medigap carrier, same Medigap plan without any underwriting guaranteed issue using trial right number 2. Now, the unique thing about this, though, you have to go back to the same carrier and you have to go back to the same plan you were on. However, if that Medigap carrier has closed their block of business and that block is no longer eligible, then your federal guaranteed issue right would allow you then to go to any Medicare supplement carrier. See, people use that every now and then. That's going to be trial right 2. And it's a 12-month period where you can operate just like trial right 1 is. But remember, the key phrase here, it's the first time you've ever left a Medicare supplement for a Medicare Advantage plan. This is not available for someone who's on a Medigap, went to an MA during AEP, enrolled in another MA, and now they're effective in that second MA and they want to go back to the Medigap. Nope. Has to be the first time you've ever been in a Medicare Advantage plan and you're leaving a Medigap to take that MA and you're coming back sometime in that first 12-month period. So your member then should document all the dates if they do something like this, screenshot their disenrollment, save proof, because a carrier is going to ask if you leave their MedSup, what proof of eligibility do you have to come back to us without having to pass underwriting? Now, let me be clear on this. We are talking about the federal guarantee issue rights. There are certain state DOIs who have their own state rights to these trial rights that work different. For instance, in Louisiana, it's based on your Part B enrollment, not A and B enrollment. So this is all going to be state specific. Remember, MA is federally regulated. Medigap is state regulated. So let's answer the second part of this question. How do we verify for a member? Well, you can check Medicare's blue button data. You can go to medicare.gov, look at their account history, maybe CMS beneficiary enrollment database if you're working through an FMO that can request it, or you can just look at plan disenrollment letters or EOB history if your member saved all these things. I'm telling you, don't just ask, have you ever been on an MA? Because most seniors, at least when I was an agent, a lot of time didn't even know if they were on an MA or MedSup. And I would ask them, are you on a Medigap? And it turned out they were on an MA. Here's the questions. When did you first enroll in A and B? What plan were you on immediately after that? Did you ever have a Medicare supplement before this MA plan? Have you ever switched from a Medigap plan to an MA before? What date did you leave your Medigap, or are you planning on leaving your Medigap? What date did you join the Medicare Advantage plan that's currently on? Do you have any notices or letters from your previous carriers? If they can't answer those questions correctly, or if they stumble over it, I would just look up their information either through your FMO that gives you maybe access to marks, or I would look at it through my Medicare account history, right? Now remember, these trial rights are literally federal protection for someone to essentially try a plan before they fully commit to it. But a carrier is going to want proof before they will issue the plan. Now, here's where a lot of misinformation lies. Trial rights do not apply if someone has been bouncing between MA and Medigap multiple times, okay? Trial rights do not mean they can pick up any Medigap at any time. They also do not override state-specific rules. They don't last forever. They are not the same as a standard guaranteed issue right. It is unique. It is 2 of the 7 federal benefits available for you. And there are states like New York, Connecticut, California that have unique extra protections outside of federal GI rights. And we're seeing birthday and anniversary rules pop up everywhere as well. But this does protect your members from being trapped in a plan that they don't want to fully commit to. But it also protects you, because if you roll someone into a Medigap and their GI and the carrier later declines them, that client may be stuck without coverage options forever. So we don't guess with trial rights. You can actually prove them. And if you're an agent, I would encourage you, slow down, document everything, verify with your member, and educate your client. And for your Medicare beneficiaries, I would tell them don't panic, right? Because they do have rights. You should just be explaining their rights to them based on timing and that the history of their plans matter. Now, if this helped, I hope so. I would love for you to drop more questions. I would love to unpack things that you don't feel like you're getting proper explanation from someone, because this is my way of giving back.